Iron Man, Spider-Man, the Hulk, Avengers, Fantastic Four, the X-Men, X-Force, and of course, Captain America. These are Marvel Classics. Hey comic book fans, welcome back to Comic Book Corner 2.0, and fans, you're back with me, Mike Spider Slayer, getting ready to bring you Marvel Classics Episode 6. This is the video series where each and every week I show you, the fans, a Marvel Classic title. That's right, whether it's a first appearance, a death, a second death, a third death, a rebirth, whatever the case may be, it's right here on Marvel Classics. And today, guys, I'm bringing you a Spidey tale. This book was made in 1991. This is called The Deadly Foes of Spider-Man. This was a mini-series. It's part 1 of 4. I'm bringing you the first issue today to bring you what this series is about. Now, back in the day, I was 16 years old. The reason why I picked this up, well, it was Spider-Man. Spider-Man's my favorite character, and this cover looked really cool. And you get to see these, like, B-rated villains, right? Like the Beetle, Hydro Man, Rhino, Speed Demon. So, obviously, I wanted to see what this book is about. So, I want to share with you guys the introductory issue of this book, and maybe you might want to read it on Marvel's Unlimited or pick it up in back issues, because I'm sure you can find it for $1 in dollar bins. So, what's this book about, right? Okay, so first thing we wind up seeing is you get the Punisher and the Shocker. And it looks like the Punisher is going to take out the Shocker, but Spider-Man gets involved, and you're like, yeah, Spider-Man's going to save the Shocker, and I love the Shocker, you know? But literally you find out is that when Spider-Man saves the Shocker, he's like, Spider-Man's like, it's time to reveal who you are. And he takes off his mask, and Spider-Man becomes like this Venom-like, toxic-like creature, right? And the next thing you see is Shocker wakes up in a prison cell, and his roommate is Abner Jenkins, which is a.k.a. the Beetle. And he's done all kinds of time and bad things, and he's supposed to be in jail a long time, but we find out that the Kingpin is the one that's behind everything, and he's going to get the early release of Abner Jenkins, a.k.a. the Beetle, okay? So, the next thing we see is the Beetle goes to the Tinkerer, and he winds up getting new armor, and it's stronger than ever, it's faster than ever, and we find out that Abner Jenkins has a lot of debts to pay, and he has to do some jobs very quickly, and in very many ways, he's desperate, okay? So, the next thing we see is we get to see the meeting of the minds, right? Of not the Sinister Six, but the second best thing, the Sinister Syndicate. And it consists of Speed Demon, Beetle, Rhino, Hydro Man, and I think Boomerang, okay? So, we get to see that, yes, Beetle is the smart one of the group, and there's this big job that has to be done as they're going to rob the Federal Reserve, okay? So, everyone is agreeing in it because, of course, they all want to get money. They want to get paid. The person, though, that has probably the best reason for this money is the Rhino. He doesn't want to be the Rhino anymore. He wants to take the hide off. He's the only one that has some kind of, like, real story here. Everyone else just, like, wants to get rich and just be, you know, whatever, be the bad guy. So they go in, they go into the Federal Reserve. We get some cheesy lines from these cops. Be like, what are you guys doing in here? What are you robbing? And they're like, well, how'd you know we were here? You're supposed to be on the other wing. And it's so funny. And then Spider-Man, of course, makes his appearance. We start seeing this big battle in action between all these characters here. And we get to see this mad rush of all the characters, all the villains. They wind up kind of defeating Spider-Man, right? And so Beetle sits there and debates, I don't want to kill Spider-Man. I don't want that on my record. So they leave him behind. Next thing we see is Boomerang, the ass that he is. He sits there and goes, screw those other guys. I'm going to sit there and throw the boomerang and try to kill you. Well, it doesn't work as planned, and Boomerang winds up going to jail. Idiot, right? So the next thing we wind up seeing in this book is that everyone is celebrating their big money, scam or whatever it is that they did to just rob the Federal Reserve. So they're celebrating. They got all this money. And next thing you see is you wind up seeing Abner Jenkins goes, "You gotta give me the money." And they're like, "What are you talking about, Beetle?" He's got to give it all back to the actual Kingpin. Okay? And then everyone's pissed off and they're like, "You used us, Abner Jenkins. You used us." He's like, "Let's kill him." And he's like, No. He's like, I had to get the Kingpin on our side. He takes 100% of this one, but he's only taking 10% of the next one. You gotta trust me. We gotta make a lot of money. I just had to pay him back because I couldn't be in jail any longer." And so the Rhino was pissed off. Hydro Man's pissed off. They're all pissed off. They were gonna kill the Beetle, but they didn't. Okay. So they leave him alone. They're like, "We'll trust you this time, but if you trust us, if you fail us a second time, we'll kill you. There won't be a third time." So the next thing we wind up seeing is that the Spider-Man winds up going to find out where Boomerang went to jail and to see if the other crime syndicate were going to bust him out. And so he goes there, and little you see at the right exact time is that when Spider-Man's there, the Beetle shows up. He's got this special ray gun to stop Spider-Man, and that's the way it ends. That's it. What did I think about this story? Wow. This was a pretty bad story. It's really cheesy. There is no motive, really, for anything in this book whatsoever. It's just funny. And it's so exposition heavy, they over-explain everything in this book. It's 25 pages, and I was like, oh my god, why are you over-explaining everything? And it's just like, again, there was no real recruitment of these villains. It's just, they just happened to show up. They were just there, and they just do this job. And they just want to get paid money. What are you going to do with all this money? At least Rhino had the right story. And at least Beetle, you have the story of him having to pay back his debts and to prove that he can be a leader. So really, it's not always all about that group. It's really about Abner Jenkins proving himself worthy to the Kingpin. Where it goes from here, who knows? But I wanted to share with you this first issue of this story, and hopefully you guys got a kick out of it. Like I said, you can probably find it on dollar bins, but if you have Marvel Unlimited, you can definitely check it out over there in case you did not know that existed. So guys, hopefully you enjoyed this story of the deadly foes of Spider-Man. Tell me what you thought in the comments below, and if you have a suggestion of a comic that you would like me to talk about, you can also put it in the comments below. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to hit that notification button, guys, so you don't miss a single video from me. And until next comic book review, this is Mike Spider Slayer signing off. Take care, guys. Bye.